We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Midwest Modified Series presented by P1 Sim Sports. We are here with the No Limit Racing League at Lucas Oil Dirt Track. Oh my goodness, what a place to be on this bright and sunny day in the sim. I am joined alongside by Alex Gagnon, and my name is Scott Shive. I'm your lead analyst, as well as Alex Gagnon on production, and of course, our cameras provided by Dougie Beard. All of this to come to you, all of the racing action to be brought to you this evening on Vspeed. Well, Alex, it's week number 2, it's race number 2, and we were presented with an awesome race last week at Cedar Lake. We had drivers that started up at the front being knocked out of the race midway through, and drivers from the mid-pack surviving to get the win and take the podium. This week, we're at Lucas Oil, the only racetrack we will visit twice. This will be the championship event in 7 weeks from now. So this is a doubly important night, Alex, because the open set that you're working with tonight, any changes that you want to make for the championship race, tonight is the night to learn.
Yeah, you certainly want to get dialed in here tonight. Should be a prime opportunity, different opportunity than Cedar Lake was last week. But to this point, we're coming back here at the tail end of the season. Very critical to figure something out here tonight if you're going to be in the hunt at season's end, because this is the only place we're going to twice on the schedule.
You want to be in the hunt at season's end. It is a purely points-based format. There's no playoff, no nothing like that. Just 8 weeks on the dirt, grueling, gutting, and absolute action. It's going to be a thriller. Each race is probably going to be better than the last. 28 cars. Actually, I think it's up to more than 30 cars. Prepare to qualify this evening. Again, of course, we'll have our heats, and like we did normally, let's take a look at the point standings that we got to see. This is obviously basically just based off the results of race number 1. Dustin Hennigan took the W, but it was Dusty Lee Jr. and Ryan Miller both transferring in from their heats. Ryan Miller transferring in from the LCQ, and so they came from very far back in the field to meet the race and eventually finish on the podium. We saw drivers that were very fast up front, qualifying on the front row, like Braden Avila sitting in 13th spot after getting taken out. Also, Nicholas Moley getting taken out from the top 5 early on as well. So a lot of drivers that we really thought, Alex, were going to be running up front for the most part of the race at Cedar Lake got caught up in some trouble. How will that relay tonight? Will it be the same story, or will they be able to rewrite the books for themselves? It's all going to have to start in the heat races.
Yeah, it certainly is. This is a big opportunity to get a reset if your season didn't start off on the right foot last week, and today might be that day. Get something cooking here at Lucas Oil Speedway. This place, same length as Cedar Lake was a week ago. Slightly less banking, though. This place, though, is still wicked fast. They did a great job of the clay and the dirt here at Lucas Oil. Should be a really fast race, really intense, and we're just getting ready here for the opening heat in just a minute, so we will take you trackside now.
Love Lucas Oil Speedway. It's such a fun dirt track. Talking about this track in particular, one thing that can really, really catch you out at this dirt track, some dirt tracks lead up all the way to the wall, but not Lucas Oil, Alex. It's actually, there's a bit of a drop off, actually. The banking is built up naturally with that clay, and instead of you eventually getting up towards the wall, there's just a drop off. And here at Lucas Oil, the cushion really loves to push up high. I can almost guarantee you by the end of the night with the heats and the LCQ and the feature, drivers will be running the top line and pushing the cushion, and it's really easy to drop your right side tire off of that banking, Alex, and go for a little adventure.
Yeah, 100%, and I would not be shocked if we see that happen at least once here tonight. Certainly no one wants to be the guy to do it, but you never know at a place like Lucas Oil. So the first heat getting ready to rock and roll now. Your grid is going to be popping up on the screen now. It'll be Dalton Kane in the 7, alongside Connor Murphy, Jaden Freiberg, and Dakota Proud making up row number 2. Jackson Sutton alongside Dane Norris. And podium finisher last week, Ryan Miller, rolls off with James Murphy.
All the names sound familiar except for Dane Norris. Was not at the race 1 week ago at Cedar Lake, so he's got a little bit of ground to make up here. James Murphy, a name that I remember transferred in his heat race, but had some trouble in the feature, battling up towards the top 5 later on in the event. So Dalton Kane, Connor Murphy, get ready. It's
no.
We're going to have a stack up already before we've even taken the green.
Oh no, nightmare start here. And I think that it's still going to try to let it go green, so they're going up at the front of the field here. But nightmare start, and now the yellow's back out. This first heat, a rough go of things, man. Holy.
Yeah, Connor Freeberger in the 35 has the most damage. He's already in the pit lane, as well as Dakota Proud. They are both in the pit lane, and you can see it. Let's take it back. I want to see it one more time just to truly see what happened to these drivers. Oh, it looks like the 7 of Kane was just trying to move up and get as high as he could, and Connor Murphy really didn't have anywhere to go. It looked like Dalton Kane just kind of moved up and hopped a wheel, and then got loose in front of the field, and that was 35 of Freeburger
Man, brutal
having some
start to the
trouble.
night.
Yeah, seriously, not the way you want to open heat number one. And I mean, we didn't even get a lap in, so officially, I think Dalton Kane is going to be able to, if his car's okay, I think he's going to be able to move back up towards his starting position. I'm going to take a little listen on the race control. I think they're going to have to review it after the fact, is what they're talking about.
I mean, it's fairly tough in the heat of the moment here. With only 8 laps in the heat, I mean, such little time goes by, even when you're under pacing. It just goes by so quick once this thing actually gets rolling. So, no doubt, race control is going to be having a hard look at that one. A tough start for the opening heat here, but looks like now we're underway. Ryan Miller is going to take him to the green here, lead him into turn 1, and we are racing officially here at Lucas Oil Speedway.
We are officially racing. iRacing set them in however it wanted to, and that's how they were going to start. Race control will review the incident after and assess any penalties if needed. Probably won't be any. It looked like strictly a racing incident, just getting ready to get going. So Ryan Miller will start up front after initially being slated to start from the 7th position on the grid. He was the only one to make it through fairly unscathed. And look at it. I don't think he's going to have to go to the LCQ this week, but I don't want to speak too early, Alex.
Now, I mean, if we learned anything from last week, things can change in a heartbeat here, but he's off to a pretty good jump. He's about a second clear of this battle between Freeburg and Kane. Both of those cars pretty significantly dented up after that opening wreck. They're trying to battle each other for second here. Both of them sitting in a transfer spot right now as the top 3 will advance to the feature coming out of this heat. But now Kane opens the door for Murphy, who's going to take a peek to the inside. Oh, and they're in the wall.
Oh, Murphy up, and then it is Dalton Kane going up and over.
And the Proud machine looks to be like he went for a wild ride there. He's getting the tow. Somehow, I believe this actually stayed green, so we're just going to...
Now the caution just came out.
Boy, Barney the Flagman really sitting on that one, trying to see if they could get it sorted out. Not meant to be, so we'll take another look here at the replay. Boy, that was a crazy spin.
It was Dakota Proud that went up and over for the barrel roll. Let's take a look at the replay. Watch the 7 is Dalton Kane. This is the 14 of Dakota Proud. 14 still riding along, all in their lonesome. Kane was battling for the 2nd position with Freeburger. It looks like he just has a moment. Yeah, gets way wide into 3, tries to come back onto the track, has a moment with Murphy, and then comes back down the track, getting the right rear of of Dakota Proud. And that was a big hit for Proud.
Yeah, that was a very, very hard hit for Proud. So I'm trying to see. There we go. So they're getting ready to get queued back up. It looks like Kane and Proud both going to have to go to the LCQ here tonight after very, very tough wrecks here in this heat. This has been a tough go of things for these guys. Ryan Miller looks to be in great shape, and everyone behind him, it is a war zone trying to get up to those top 3 spots right now, Scott.
It's absolutely a war zone. James Murphy still in the pits after taking the hit to the wall with his right front. But it'll be Ryan Miller at the front, leading the field under this caution. Jaden Freeburger in 2nd, Jackson Sutton in 3rd. The best position starting was Jaden Freeburger, who started in 3rd, but it was Ryan Miller who started in 7th and was able to get through the initial scrap before the green flag even dropped, and he was starting up at the front when we officially went green, and he has been leading the field ever since. Can he hold it that way? Connor Murphy looks to make a battle in the number 5. He's 1 spot out of the transfer position, and as we come to the line, he's not going to be able to transfer in. It'll be Ryan Miller taking the checkered flag and winning heat race number 1.
Yeah, Ryan Miller, great job there to get to the front and hold on to it. Jaden Freeburger and Jackson Sutton going to be your top 3 advancing out of this heat. And I think everyone in that heat just happy that that one's going to be wrapping up here so they can advance to the next one if you're the top 3, or so you can regroup in the LCQ. And just like that, we are going to get ready for number 2 here tonight. This is Heat 2 coming up. Another 8 drivers getting ready to take the grid, including another one of the podium finishers from last week there, Scott.
Yeah, another podium finisher. Along with us, Dusty Lee Jr. will start from the rear here in this second heat of 4 8 laps. Of course, the top 3 advance, and the rest will be entered into the LCQ 12 laps for that LCQ following the heat races. And just before our 50-lap feature, it'll be 50 laps instead of 40 that we saw last week at Cedar Lake. Let's get to your 8-car grid for heat race number 2. It'll be Kyle Davis starting up front in the number 17. It's Joshua Colburn in the 75 starting on row number 1. Ricky Thompson as well as Logan Gill make up row number 2. And then in 5th place, it'll be the 25 of Braden Avila, started up front of the front row last week. And then it's in 6th place, it'll be the 44 of Joseph McIntyre Jr. Final row on the grid, Ryder Egbert and Dusty Lee Jr. And if my memory serves me correctly, Alex, Ryder Egbert, another one of those drivers that was fighting up front towards the latter half of the Cedar Lake race, but that was taken out.
Yeah, Egbert was in the mix here, and I actually don't believe the 78 has taken the grid here tonight. So that is going to be an interesting development to keep an eye on. So it looks like only 7 potentially who have taken the grid.
Well, if he does not, he will be automatically entered into the LCQ, which will be more of a tough go, I think it would be, than the heat race. Pace truck, lights are off. We've already had a very exciting heat race number 1 from Lucas Oil. Will we see an exciting number 2, or will we see a calm, cool, and collected field from this second heat? Kyle Davis, Joshua Coburn make up the front row. They prepare. Green flag is away.
And already
3 wide for second.
Yeah, it's already coming unglued through 1 and 2. Look at that. Everyone fighting for position. Colburn's got an inside look here on Davis, looking for the lead as they're going 3 wide behind him.
It was almost nearly 4 wide for second position, and it was the 24 having a problem. And that was Ricky Thompson, who started up on that second row. He was on the golden 24, had an issue as we battle it out. The 17 of Kyle Davis, who was just leading a lap ago, is now falling to 4th spot, 5th spot.
Yeah, he's having a lot of trouble right now. Might be losing more as Thompson and Dusty Lee to the inside here. 3 wide into 3 and 4. Looks like
Dusty Lee having big internet issues. That is a really, really difficult to race around.
Yeah, no kidding. That is a really tough situation. Speaking of tough, Colburn and the Via going for it up front. Wonder if it's a server thing. Looks like there's a lot of folks having some trouble with connection here in this heat. There's contact
between Gill and Avila. You saw it. Avila was trying to check up, get a run on Colburn, and that allowed the 44 of Joseph McIntyre to squeeze on through and pass the both of them. This is a battle side by side for the transfer spot with only 2.5 laps remaining. Braden Avila, who started on the front row at Cedar Lake, is now out of a transfer spot. The 01 of Logan Gill moves through, 2 remaining.
Yeah, running out of time here to make something happen. Big send from Thompson, tries to get to the back bumper of the 25. Nothing going that time by. As they continue the battle for this 3rd spot, 1 to go. Gill has it, the 25, hot on his heels.
Colburn in the lead. McIntyre looking for an opening here in 3 and 4. Then it's Gill in the final transfer spot. Avila 1 spot short. Whoa. He's going to clip the tire. He's going to roll over. But Colburn going to hang on to get the win in heat race number 2. McIntyre Jr. takes 2nd, and Gill fills the last transfer position. Well, you can say that Braden Avila gave it everything.
Boy, did he. He went for it there in 3 and 4. We'll take a look at that replay real quick for the
I'll do it real
25.
quick because we're about to lose it.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get back there in time.
Oh, no.
Doing a little fast forward through here to see if we can,
I was going to
get
say,
there.
hope we get it. Hope we get it. Here we goes. Down to the bottom.
Oh, just
No!
ran out of time.
Oh, oh man.
Tough break. Tough break. Well,
Uh,
you saw it
really-
here live.
I hope the viewers. I was gonna say I hope the viewers saw it live. If you didn't, you can rewind just a little bit. Try to get it back as quick as we could before the iRacing sim moved us on into the next session. But it you could say he absolutely took flight, Alex.
Yeah, he certainly did. That thing was pointed skyward. 2 heats so far, 2 cars who have gotten all 4 wheels off the ground. It's a tough start here if we're having a car flip each heat. But I think that time around though, that was just a matter of Avia really going for it. Just caught that tire to the inside, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, had to try something different and try to send it in on the inside. He wasn't close enough to try the crossover, so was going to try to get a good run off the bottom. But I really think with Gil being on that high line, he was going to get the momentum towards the line, you know, unless there was some sort of contact between the rest of them. So it's heat race number 3, set and prepared. Dylan Blackburn starting on the front row, along with Michael Boyd in the number 55. Then secondly, in row number 2, third place, Mason Newmiller, who was one of your staples 2 weeks ago or a week ago at Cedar Lake, one of the only finishers in the top 5 to have started in the top 5. Fourth will be Julian Shanks. Then in 5th spot, it'll be the 21 of Kaylor Hogan, right alongside the 32 of Cameron Stefanski. Final row on the grid this evening, the 12 of William Seitz, alongside Shane Leggett in the number 20 Dirt UMP. These modifieds, those wheels being out and open, I think has allowed us some of these moments, Alex, for you know, you got to be careful.
Yeah, you really do. We have seen a couple times already tonight those wheels get locked in with each other or locked in with some of the tires down at the apron of this racetrack. And that has been a tough situation for these guys. We'll see if that's the case here as Blackburn gets on the throttle. He's going to lead them down the turn 1. Heat number 3 underway here at Lucas Oil.
Newmiller already sitting in as Michael Boyd gets roughed up into turn number 1, has a big moment. He's going to fall and fall quickly. He's already to the back. He started in the front row, and in 1 lap, he is the last car on the grid. William Seitz already, he started on the back row, and now he is up to 3rd. It shows you how quickly, Alex, things can change here in these races.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of time for this field to shuffle, which is for these heats part of the reason why we see so much action from the drop of the green flag. Blackburn still has that lead. Newmiller sits in 2nd. You've got Stites holding on to the last transfer spot, and then it's Stefanski who's trying to give chase. This field got spread out in a hurry.
You can already see the rubber buildup on the entries to 1 and 3. This is the 21 of Kaylor Hogan, currently running in 5th spot, 2 spots out of a transfer position, 1 second back from Cameron Stefanski. All the while, it's gotten really tight up front with the front 3, and this is going to determine just a couple starting positions within the feature, but it would be really easy to take one another out when all 3 of them are sitting in a good spot to transfer into the feature race.
Yeah, you see they're battling each other pretty good right now for that lead spot. Blackburn still has it. Newmiller and Stites, though, right on the back bumper in the 1. They're all getting up to each other. A little bit of contact between the 6 and the 12. They hold on to it, but that's going to allow Stefanski to get into the mix here coming to the white flag.
Stefanski gets to move in. I don't think he's close enough to try to pull the slider. But Newmiller is close enough on the 48 of Blackburn. We're going to be side by side, entering 3 on the final lap. They make contact, they go sideways, but are able to hang on to it. But it's going to be Blackburn leading from flag to flag to win heat race number 3. And wow, Cameron Stefanski got really close, was within 0.2 of a second of William Seitz, but just comes up 1 spot shy.
Yeah, it's an encouraging drive for the 32, I'm sure, but not going to be enough to automatically transfer to the feature here tonight. That was for Stites, New Miller, and Blackburn. And just like that, getting ready for our final heat of the night. Heat 4 of 4, another 7-8 cars ready to rock and roll here. It's these heats fly by, man. I know we talked about that a little bit last week, Scott, but it truly is like blink and you miss it as far as these heats to set the running order for the feature and the LCQs.
It really is. I mean, the laps just roll on by. I mean, and it's crazy how much can change within those laps as well, too. You saw the 55 start up on the front row and was the last car on the grid, on the field by the end of lap one. And you could say the same for those who transferred in. Starting near the rear was William Seitz. And by the end of the lap one, he was up in third and was able to hang on to a transfer spot.
Taking a look here at our final grid of the night. It'll be Ethan Patterson up on the front row alongside the 28 of Cody McDonald. Last week's winner, Dustin Hennigan, rolls off into third spot here alongside the 1 of Landon Falkenberg. Daryl Bass put in a top 10 result last week. He'll roll off fifth in this heat. Mason Setting, same deal, a top 5 last week. And Preston Shepard, I believe, in that top 10 group as well. So all a lot of guys in this heat who found a lot of success last week there, Scott.
Yeah, and let's not forget Dustin Hennigan did not win his heat race. Started fairly in the middle of the field at Cedar Lake, but was able to kind of survive, but also have good pace towards the end of the race. And again, you know, we really haven't talked about it much, but obviously the track conditions really come into play, and especially when it comes to dirt racing. You have got to be searching each and every lap, because within 3 laps, the track can change and the line can change of what truly is the fastest. And so these drivers have to continue to search each and every lap, and a driver that could have been a half a second off is now 0.3 faster than your leader. It can swing and sway just like that. Heat race number 4, the last of them on the docket. Let's go green. The 1 of Landon Falkenberg getting high. Landon Falkenberg already in the last position, but it's Dustin Hennigan from third all the way to first. It's Ethan Patterson as well as the 52 of Preston Shepard moving up in the field. Caution is going to come out for the 3 of Mason Setting. You saw Setting fall quickly.
Yeah, it looked like at first the 28 of McDonald caught maybe that little bit of the edge you were talking about when the track dips back over from its highest point. But here, coming off a 4 Setting, a little bit of contact with Preston Shepard, ends up hitting that outside wall. Gets spun the wrong way, and just no time really to do anything about it before oncoming traffic starts making its way to him.
Yeah, I got 3 wide with Daryl Bass in the middle and Ethan Patterson up on the high side, and that really slowed the run for the 3 of Mason Setting, and then made contact with the 52, pointed his car right towards the outside wall. You can see right here as we ride along with Setting. Makes contact with the 90, starts falling back, then jumps the rough right rear. It looks like it broke the right rear even before contact with the wall, after the contact initially with Shepard.
So it's Hennigan up front, Bass and Patterson, your top 3 in those transfer spots right now. Shepard, Falkenberg, McDonald going to try to get back up there. Looks like Setting's going to be able to soldier on here, but he's got some work to do if he's going to transfer into the main event here in this heat.
Not everyone completed that last lap, so will only be 2 officially completed, but it was Dustin Hennigan moving into the lead position after starting from 3rd place on the grid. Green flag, back out. Slider from Ethan Patterson. Moves into 2nd. Daryl Bass going to be slow here down on the bottom after getting that slider from the 13 of Patterson. And look at the move from the 3 of Mason Setting. He was just involved in the wreck, and now he's back and battling for a transfer spot. Look at the speed he's got on the bottom, Alex.
He is really working the inside of the racetrack. Contact with Patterson in the 3. Mason Setting absolutely ripping the bottom of the racetrack right now. Going to have a nose ahead of the 13 here with 4 to go. That is a good fight for that last transfer spot right now. Daryl Bass happy to see these guys fight because they are just behind him as Patterson goes around.
Settings absolutely sends Patterson into 3. He is around and the caution is out. Wow. Yeah, Setting just kind of shoved him high this next lap. You saw a contact there into 3. That was 1 lap prior to the incident, and you could see that this is here. Patterson gets a great run out of turn 2, and Setting can see it. He knows that he might have to make a little contact to make the pass, makes a little too much contact, and Patterson, that's a big hit.
Let's see if we can find another angle of that going into 3. And yeah, just make contact wheel to wheel. Shoved the 13 out of the groove. Hard hit there for Patterson, who's looking to try to transfer into the main event there. Still might be able to. We saw Setting have some good speed, but easier said than done. Looks like he's still actually back in the pit area, so I'd find it unlikely that we'll see him transfer out of this heat.
Patterson was in a really good position, starting 4th and eventually getting up to 3rd place. Was holding and fighting for that 3rd place at the moment when they made contact, him and Mason Setting, who on that restart was last, was 7th, jumped up to 3rd, and just made a little too much contact to be able to keep going with the battle, and it eventually took Ethan Patterson out. He's back on the field now. So he's back. Well, I thought he was. He's not. Excuse me. He is still in the pits. I thought he had repaired his vehicle. But he's not going to go a lap down, obviously, until green. Only green flag lap counts, so he's still got time to be able to get out. I imagine, Alex, he's probably trying to fix all the damage he can.
Yeah, he's certainly working on that race car, but it looks like another cycle going to go by here without him rejoining the field. Damage still being repaired on the 13. So here we go. It'll be Dustin Hennigan, winner last week, in position to potentially win this heat as we go racing once again in the final heat of the night.
Fairly clean single file start for these front runners. Cody McDonald currently in 4th in the 28. Again, 1 spot out of those crucial 3 transfer positions. Really trying to wrap the bottom here, but doesn't look to have the same speed as these 3 front runners. It's only 1.5 laps to go as they enter 3.
Yeah, they seem to be in good shape up here in this top 3, at least Hennigan and Bass for sure. Setting still under a bit of attack here from McDonald, but looks like he may be able to do just enough to transfer in that 3rd and final spot, maybe to the inside of Bass in 3 and 4. But either way, it's going to be Dustin Hennigan picking up the win here in heat number 4. Daryl Bass, Mason Setting, the other 2 who will qualify out of this heat.
It was fairly clean for those front 2, Hennigan and Bass. After the initial incident was Mason Setting having one of the more wild rides and being able to get a good restart after the caution, move himself up into 3rd, made contact with Patterson, but then was still able to hold on to that 3rd transfer position over the 28 of Cody McDonald. Now it is time for the LCQ. This is your last chance to make it to the feature race.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we'll have, I believe, a couple here tonight, and to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Scott, only 2 are going to advance from the LCQ to the main event here tonight?
I don't know. See, I've got some different numbers on here. I look at the track rules, and it says 4 for me.
Oh, well then that might be the case. I know it's dependent on
there's 12.
Here.
And there's 12 that have already transferred in, and I know that League Admin Dana Burdick was telling us that it maybe works out to it takes 20 total. So it could mean that 8 could transfer in. I'm really not too sure.
Well, I believe we're going to have a second one if we've only got 9 in this field, or Honestly, let's see. We had about 20,
Yeah, I've
probably
got to
about
say,
30
I
cars
think
here
we're having
tonight,
a
12
second one.
already in.
Yeah, I
Probably
think
about
we're
two.
having. I think we're having. This is the C main. Of course, they'll transfer. It doesn't matter. The 4, and then we'll have the B main, and 4 of them will transfer. So yeah, I think we're having 2 LCQs.
Quick reminder for your LCQ rules tonight: 12 laps are the LCQ distance, and the top 4
Yep,
will
just got
advance
the
to
official
the
word.
main event.
So we'll have 2 LCQs, and we are taking the top 4 officially. So it's Connor Murphy, Cameron Stefanski, the front row, then Dane Norris, Kaylor Hogan, James Murphy, as well as Michael Boyd in row 3, Dalton Kane, Shane Leggett, row 4, and row 5, the 14 of Dakota Proud, who took a wild ride in heat race number 1. Green flag is out. Murphy and Stefanski lead him into 1.
Looks like a pretty good launch there from the by machine of Murphy. He's got an edge over Stefanski. Here comes Norris, though, to the back bumper of the 2. Trying to sort that out is the 65 of James Murphy. Gonna look to the inside here. Trying to work that bottom like we just saw Setting do in that previous heat. Looks like it's working for now. He's up to 3rd.
James Murphy, a really fast driver, has been collected in some unlucky spouts. Hopes to keep it all clean here through the LCQ. Remember, top 4 will transfer in, so he's in a transfer spot now along with the 115 of Dane Norris. But his contact between Murphy and Stefanski as they battle for P2.
Yeah, we got a really good battle going on here between Stefanski and Murphy, and also just behind this, Dakota Proud's been working with Kaylor Hogan here. The 2 of them have been battling pretty hard for this 5th spot. And after the wild ride he had in his heat, Dakota Proud maybe knocking on the door of a transfer spot here just before the halfway point of this LCQ.
Proud, with how far back he is, even though it's not too far, it's 0.8 of a second, might need a caution. Unless he can find a lucky line, which, he is absolutely booking it already to the inside of the 115 of Dane Norris. And we are just crossing halfway.
Yeah, he is right to the inside here, the 115. That is the spot that he needs. Meanwhile, Stefanski and James Murphy battling it out still for 2nd. Connor Murphy unchallenged really at the front so far tonight. It's really been these guys battling for 2nd behind him. And then this battle for 4th is looks like Proud's going to go on through. He's now in the holder of the 4th spot.
Dakota Proud is going to get the bumper from the 115 of Norris. Norris going to straighten him back out and send him along his merry way. And all the while, there's a change for the lead. It's the battle of the Murphys. Connor Murphy on slide on James. Now James back to the inside in the 65. Wow, what a battle this has been turned into.
Yeah, 3-way battle for the lead here in the first LCQ. James Murphy now has it. Stefanski fighting for 2nd over the 05 of Connor Murphy, who's been trying to hold the lead here for most of the night. Dakota Proud has worked himself into this battle after that scrap with Norris. There is a lot going on here with only 2 to go in this LCQ.
Here comes Proud, all the way from the shotgun on the field. And he's looking to move through into 3rd position into a podium for this LCQ. It's Connor Murphy who started up front and was holding it up front all the way through halfway when it was an attack from the 65 of James Murphy to move him out of the way and put himself in the lead. Cameron Stefanski, who started in 2nd, has retained 2nd. But look at Proud, looks to still be on the move. And across the line, this time it is James Murphy picking up the win. Stefanski, Proud, and Connor Murphy transferring in.
Little extracurriculars there between
home.
Stefanski and Proud. There's more cars going to slide on in. What a fantastic battle that was. That was a, after the initial start of the first heat, I was a little scared, but then we got straight at that LCQ, and that was easily the best thing we've seen so far tonight was this opening LCQ. That was a fantastic duel.
Seriously, Connor Murphy looked to be dominating the field, and then boom, here comes James Murphy. And, wow. It was great. A good move by the 65. LCQ number 2 on the books, or ready to be put in the books. Top 4 will advance, same as the last. Rest will be going home. And of course, a reminder to all the fans watching, there's money on the line tonight. $25 for the winner, $15 for second, and $10 for third. And of course, $125 at the end of the season to the Rookie of the Year, and over $400 to be paid out elsewhere throughout some of the championship field. So there's money on the line each and every night, all thanks to our sponsors, No Coast Customs, Colburn Race Wraps, Featherston Welding and Fabrication, Infamous Raceworks. Thank you to all of them. And, of course, our title sponsor, our featuring sponsor, P1 Sim Sports. Wouldn't be able to do these payouts without them and the contributions from the No Limit Racing League here in the Midwest Modified Series. The Dirt UMP has given us some excellent racing, and I think it will continue to do that all season long. After today, we'll be 25% of the way through, but with plenty of races yet to come. And Alex, we're not even to the feature yet.
No, we are not. Still on LCQ number 2. It's going to be Ricky Thompson, Cody McDonald on your front row for this one. Dusty Lee Jr., Preston Shepard in row number 2, Kyle Davis alongside Landon Falkenberg. Braden Avia going to try to keep all 4 tires on the ground this time around with Ethan Patterson and Julian Shanks, who get ready to make up this second LCQ. Ryder Egbert listed as well, but he did not grid for his heat. I do not see him here tonight for the LCQ as well. So 9 cars ready to rock and roll here, Scott, for a chance to go to the feature race tonight.
A chance to win the money. It's Ricky Thompson leading them into 1. Dusty Lee Jr. looks to have better internet connection this time around. It's Cody McDonald on the outside battling for that second spot with Dusty Lee.
Oh, they're going to be 3 wide just about coming off the corner. Thompson's got the advantage for now. McDonald and Lee not letting them get away. 3 wide through the corner here. Look at the 25 wrap the inside. He just gained 2 spots in the corner.
Vila moves on through Preston Shepard and Kyle Davis, and look at this, nearly 3 wide for the lead, definitely 2 wide for second between McDonald and Dusty Lee. Thompson washes up high. That's going to allow Dusty Lee a great run on the inside. He looks for the lead. All the while, Braden Avila is in a transfer spot, but lays in wait as these top 3 do battle.
Yeah, and doing battle's a good word for it as McDonald gets into the back of Lee there. 2 of them come together. That opens the door for third here for the 25 to slide on through, and he will. Thompson still fighting with the 88 here for the race lead. He has not been able to get any separation so far. Dusty Lee continues to wrap the inside of the racetrack to great effect.
Avila up 4 spots already within the opening 5 laps of the race. And it's a battle for the transfer position. Preston Shepard looks to the outside, tries to wrap around the outside of Cody McDonald, who's already fallen 2 spots in this second LCQ race. All the while as well, up front, Dusty Lee Jr. rides the coattails of the 24 of Ricky Thompson. Thompson goes up high once more. Lee Jr. on the bottom, looking for the lead, nearly clear. Throws a slider in this time by Thompson. Checks up, looks to pull the momentum on the bottom. Crossover move.
These guys continue to do battle up at the front of the field here. Dusty Lee's got the lead now. The 88 to the point, coming to 4 laps to go. Thompson slides into second. He's got the 25 right on his back bumper, and then it's Cody McDonald still trying to hold off Preston Shepard. These 5 cars, only 4 of them are going to advance here tonight. This is a critical battle. You see a battle for second unfolding. The 25 again to the inside, trying to make it work. Oh, they almost came together.
Avila continues to prove how strong he is. Really got unlucky 1 week ago at Cedar Lake. Could have absolutely fought for the win. And now he's looking to fight for the win in the LCQ. On the inside of Dusty Lee Jr., only 2 laps remaining that time by. Avila still working on the inside of Dusty Lee.
Here we go to the white flag, staying off each other there. Dusty Lee and Braden Avia look to be in good shape. Thompson and McDonald in a little bit of a battle for third.
Oh.
Preston Shepard just a little too far back here.
Shepard tried it. I saw Avila tapped the inside of the tire, almost got shocked. What we saw earlier, it's Dusty Lee Jr. winning in the LCQ to transfer through with Avila, Thompson, and McDonald, your final three to make it into the 50-lap feature event.
And man, it was only 0.05 of a second between Thompson and McDonald for third as Cody Patterson in frustration just ramps that thing into the turn one wall. The joys of iRacing versus, being out there in real life. You can just absolutely bin it if you haven't had the day you're looking for. It's kind of the fun part.
We absolutely can. We'll have a 5-minute warm-up for these drivers, and then we will get to the 50-lap feature race. We're going to take a quick break here on the Vspeed side. Don't worry, we'll be right back.
JS Racing, we're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
"50 laps lie ahead as the drivers continue to wrap up this warm-up. Welcome back here on Vspeed to the Midwest Modified Series presented by P1 Sim Sports, helping us out in each and every matter. I want to give some time here to, again, thank all of our excellent sponsors, allowing us to continue to do this. P1 Sim Sports, of course, presenting sponsor, as well as No Coast Customs, Colburn Race Wraps, Featherston Welding and Fabrication, and Infamous Raceworks. Bringing you into the booth. Again, big thanks to our producer and analyst, Alex Gagnon, as well. My name is Scott Shive. Glad to bring you all the action here for the No Limit Racing League on Vspeed. Our camera is presented and provided by Dougie Beard. Alex, what do you look for in this second week race? Because last week, I really thought it was going to be the front runners taking home the W, but at no point was it that.
Well, it certainly felt that way for about the opening 25 laps of the 40-lap race that we had last week at Cedar Lake, and then all of a sudden, it was not the case. You know, those guys got together, got tangled up, and that really opened the door for some folks who may not have. They were in the top 5, but they weren't necessarily up in front, and that was really when we saw Dustin Hennigan's car come alive, and he just pulled away in those closing few laps. To what was a very convincing win for him to put him atop of the standings coming out of Cedar Lake. I think the big thing tonight, if there's anything that these guys learned from last week, the big thing you got to know is just understanding that even though, the pressure starts ramping up, under 20 laps to go, under 15 laps to go, and you feel like you got to start making some forward progress if you're slipping behind, things can still go wrong in a heartbeat. And we saw that very much on display last week. Curious to see if these guys wait a few more laps here tonight, closer to the end, before everyone kind of hits the proverbial panic switch and really tries to send it in on with making some moves that you wouldn't necessarily make on lap 1.
Absolutely, and I just realized when I was talking about it being 50 laps earlier, I was like, wow, I'm surprised we're doing 50 rather than 40. I was looking at the minutes. And so it's 50 minutes or 40 laps. So excuse me for being incorrect most of the evening. It'll be 40 laps, same as last week. Would have loved an extra 10 laps here from Lucas Oil Speedway, but it'll be the regularly scheduled 40 for this 20-car grid. Let's get into the grid. Ryan Miller starting on pole after winning heat race number 1. Then Joshua Colburn, heat race number 2 winner. Dylan Blackburn in row number 2, the 48, winner from heat 3. And Dustin Hennigan, winner from last week and winner of heat race number 4. 5th position, 35 of Jaden Freeberger. 6th, the 44 of Joseph McIntyre Jr. Row number 4, Mason Newmiller into the outside, the 90 of Daryl Bass. Row number 5, last of the top 10, the 23 of Jackson Sutton, and the 01 of Logan Gill.
William Stites rolls off row number 6 alongside Mason Setting, who had an adventurous heat, to say the least. James Murphy and Dusty Lee, 13th and 14th. Cameron Stefanski alongside Braden Avila. Dakota Proud, Ricky Thompson in 17th and 18th. And row number 10 here tonight, bringing out the field, Connor Murphy, Cody McDonald. So 20 cars ready to go in the feature race here tonight. Should be a ton of fun. 40 laps in store coming up in just a moment as the green flag's in the air.
The Dirt UMPs, they roar and they rumble, already 4 wide in the mid-pack through turns 1 and 2. But we are clear and good through the lap number 1. The big moment for the 6. That was a big moment for Mason Newmiller. Newmiller able to keep it together, though, falling back a little bit through the grid as he is trying to be eaten alive by the rest of the mid-pack. Contact up front with the 01 of Logan Gill and Daryl Bass in the 90.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there between these two. It's tough to find any sort of real running room out here with 20 of these Dirt UMBs running around. They are going nuts at the moment. Ryan Miller still has the advantage. Hennigan, though, starting to apply some pressure. And here comes Josh Colburn to the inside. The 75 working the inside, looking for second. Then you got Jaden Freeberger with a whole host of cars behind him.
Driver to note, Dylan Blackburn, who started on the second row, falling back quickly, trying to ride the cushion, but is not having a great set of momentum, and he's going to jump the cushion. That time, he's going to fall even further. Mason Newmiller moves on through. That's Blackburn now down into 11th from the second row.
Meanwhile, up front, we still have Ryan Miller, Dustin Hennigan right there on the back bumper as well. Colburn, Freeberger's in the mix. A little side-by-side here as Gill looks to the inside of McIntyre. Easier said than done in the 1. Logan Gill really trying to work the inside of the racetrack right now. Starting to find some progress, too. He is up a few positions from where he started. He's up 4.
A lot of rubber being laid down on the track. The lines are getting more and more narrow. Gill in the 1, still looking to the inside. This is the number 12 of William Stites. Stites on the back of this host of cars, right behind the 6 of Mason Newmiller. Newmiller going to make a little contact with the 3 of Setting.
Yeah, they've got
The 2 Masons.
Yeah, this is what you're seeing if you're in the middle of this pack right now. It is tough to really find some real estate out here. You see all the dirt getting kicked up as well as they're working the middle of the racetrack right now, side by side in front of them. This is tough. There's nowhere really to go right now if you're the 12. You're just kind of settling in and waiting for an opening to present itself.
Driver to mention as well, Braden Avila making contact with the 48 of Dylan Blackburn up off of turn 2. Avila started lower in the running order. He's up to 11th spot if he can make this pass on Dylan Blackburn, who again we mentioned his very early troubles, and he's going to try to clear himself. Blackburn into the wall as Avila tried to force himself clear, and he was not clear. Caution is going to fly for the first time today as Blackburn is going to fall all the way to the last spot on the grid. Yeah, that's just a not clear moment.
No. And that was, I mean, they were having a fantastic battle before this.
It was. Avila, I think, just got a little over-aggressive here. Tried to clear himself its next time by. Blackburn on the outside in the 48, Avila in the 25 on the inside right here. Tries to clear himself, but the wheel is still there. And it shoves Blackburn hard into the wall, collapsing that right front suspension and sending him to the pit lane.
Yeah, one more.
If I were Blackburn, he is probably extremely frustrated about that move.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him either. That was tough. They were still side by side, was not clear, and before you know, you end up in the fence. Pretty significant damage to that right front, and it's going to be really tough to make it run back through the front of this field with a 20-car field here tonight for the feature.
He's still in the pit lane as of right now. We'll keep you squared away and up to date on Dylan Blackburn. So up front, it's still Ryan Miller leading the way. Dustin Hennigan, who started on the outside of row number 2, able to jump up into second place. We mentioned the problems for Dylan Blackburn after starting on the second row. Other big movers as my ATVO starts absolutely freaking out.
Yeah,
trying to see who is some of our. It seems to happen every time we get a caution. They all start to get truly shuffled up. I think the biggest mover right now is Ricky Thompson in the number 24, currently in 12th. Looks like 7 spots up from the starting. Green flag back in the air. Can Ryan Miller continue to lead as he has all race long?
I think the big thing I've learned is that ATVO is just not particularly built for dirt racing. I think what's going on, because no laps tick away under yellow, when they get ready for the one to go, it recycles it as like, oh, we're going green next time by, but pit lane is beyond the start-finish line, so it's triggering the cars in pit lane out ahead of the field, and as the field passes them, then it trickles on back. But that's what I've noticed here between Cedar Lake last week and here is that anytime there's someone on pit lane when we go to the one to green, ATVO seems to really not have a good time, but that's not important. What is important is that Dustin Hennigan and Ryan Miller, 2 guys on the podium last week, they're going after it for the lead here going into lap 16.
Goodness, Hennigan ripping the boards in 3 and 4. Look at how close he gets to jumping the cushion in 3 and 4 as well here in 1 and 2. And it's Jaden Freeberger continuing to hold in that 3rd position. They've been in this top 5 all evening long. Daryl Bass having a great run, moving 4 spots up from his starting position, but Hennigan starting to move away from it. Could he go back-to-back?
Hey, he's starting to get just a little bit of separation here from Miller. Freeberger looking to the ends.
Goodness, Daryl Bass.
They are running out of real estate as Colburn makes contact with Freeberger.
Colburn in the 75, sent it way down low after getting almost chopped by Daryl Bass. Bass really having a great job working through this field to the outside of Jaden Freeberger this time, into 3rd as the caution comes out for the 2nd time.
I think Cameron
Looks
Stefanski
like William Seitz was near it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Stefanski gets in the back of McDonald. That's where it all began. Oh, my gosh, and then it was the 12 of William Stites absolutely taking a ride of his own. Look at this.
Oh, look at that.
Stefanski's gonna jump him up on his hood.
Stites
So it looked
look-
like some simple contact. Oh, and then
they were
Murphy.
unrelated. Oh, interesting. Okay, so
That
at
was a
first
whole
we
different
saw-
incident.
We saw Stites go for a ride here with Stefanski, and then, we'll take another look at this. So here's the initial contact with McDonald, Stefanski, and Stites. And just when you think it's over, here comes Murphy to the inside, contact with Blackburn, and the two
Oh,
wash up
Blackburn.
into Stefanski.
It looked like to me there that Dylan Blackburn just went straight. I can't imagine why. I mean, Blackburn has really no beef with James Murphy. So might have, I don't know. That was really weird.
Yeah, it truly was. That's a rough set of circumstances. I wonder if there was just something that wasn't handling right on that race car. Because we're just about
Might have
at
been.
the midway point here. And that was our second caution of the night here through 40 laps. Honestly, we had, 5 last week at Cedar Lake in the feature? So we're actually, dare I say, ahead of
Around
schedule.
that. We are ahead of schedule. 4 cars currently remain in the pits. Yeah, I see what you're talking about right now with the timing screen, charging all the cars in the pits ahead. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, Blackburn, Murphy, Stites, and Stefanski, as well as Jackson Sutton, all in the pit lane trying to repair damage. But hey, that's some great analysis work, Alex, even on the technical side.
Hey, you know what? If my label here tonight is both analyst and producer, if the best thing I can do is analyze the production and see what's going on, and I think that is exactly what's going on, is it's going to do its little recycle here again. But now that I get to the end of pit road, everything resets. Hennigan and Miller up to the front once again. ATVO is so helpful for 99% of things. This seems to be the one thing it really is not too keen on, but, we make it work.
I got to wonder right now, what can some of these drivers do? I'm currently Braden Avila, driver we saw was really, really fast in the LCQ, couldn't quite make the transfer in the heat race, but he's really gotten stuck just outside of the top 10 in this 13th spot. I really got to wonder if he can move up quicker, as well as the 14 of Dakota Proud, one row in front of him. Proud had a great run in his LCQ as well to move up all the way from last on the field into the second transfer spot. Can they work through or more? Can Dustin Hennigan go back-to-back, and can Ryan Miller podium once again? Or could we be upset by Freeberger, Bass, or Gill?
Yeah, they are applying some pressure to the inside of the racetrack as the leaders were going way up there. Hennigan and Miller both finding the cushion there at the exit of 4, almost up at the wall on corner exit. Hennigan, though, not a great run. Miller going to reel him in a little bit here into 3, making a lunge for it. The 16 is just absolutely wired in right now on 3 and 4. It is a razor's edge up there, and he is threading it perfectly.
He's running just a perfect line, but that line, any sort of misstep, and he's jumping over the cushion and can lose a ton of time. Even jumping the cushion somewhat with that right rear, but the cushion giving him just enough friction, just enough resistance to be able to keep the momentum off the corner. Ryan Miller now falling back. Freeberger moves up into second, but it's Daryl Bass looking to finalize into that 3rd spot, and he will. Miller now looks back to the inside, a little bit of crossover, a lot of wheel room contact with Bass, but they keep it clean, they keep it straight. But Ryan Miller, who started on pole, is now going to fall outside of a podium spot.
Yeah, he's still battling here with Bass for that 3rd spot, getting physical off of turn 4.
They're still connected.
Those guys were glued to each other for the entirety of the straightaway. Here comes Gill and Colburn into the mix as well. It is getting dicey here for 3rd. More
There goes Bass.
contact.
Oh, this is a great battle to watch. We can't look away from this. There we go. Big contact between the wheels. They're going to wreck in front of the field. Miller spins around, and others pile in.
Oh, man. Devastation at the front of the field. Miller and Bass not happy with each other.
You can see that was a bit of retaliation there from Miller. Colburn also got a big shot from it, too.
So this starts the lap before. These guys leaned on each other basically each of the past 2 laps. And then this time around, they started getting some folks coming in behind them as they take this look here into 3 and 4. And Scott, this is where it all comes unglued.
I think Bass just was not happy with how Miller raced him. And then right there, wheel-to-wheel contact. got them slow in front of the rest of the field. And then there was nowhere to go for drivers like McDonald and others. Look at this from Miller. Miller just going to shove into the side of Bass here, showing his utmost frustration. Race control definitely going to take a look at that later on. Let's watch along here as well with the 75 of Colburn to see the contact that he makes. The one of Logan Gill. Nearly going to get away here. We'll ride along with the 75 of Colburn. And yeah, just heavy right front contact, going to get sent outside and makes big contact with the outside wall. It was also the 24 of Ricky Thompson making big contact in his number 24, who was having a great go of making up positions.
Yeah, he was, but
Looks like he's not too damaged, not enough to go into the pit lane.
yeah, so we'll come back up here to the live shot. And that car, it looks like, yeah, you can see the roll bar there in the front, little bent in up front, but maybe not too worse for wear. A little bit of paneling crinkled in on the back as well. Still running in that 5th spot though is Ricky Thompson. It's been a wild one, you know. We got some great battles in the front and then.
I know. The battles have been good, and honestly, that was probably our biggest moment. Up until then, I would say we were definitely calmer than we were at Cedar Lake. The running order was, you know, fairly similar to how it started. Obviously, drivers falling a little bit, some making gains. But, I mean, last week we saw most of the front runners eventually taken out, and a lot of the drivers from the mid-pack and last spot on the grid move themselves all the way up to the front of the field. So, but I'm still looking at it, and I see a lot of green of all these drivers up at the front, and I see a lot of red at all these drivers in the back that have lost positions. So we'll continue to monitor it, but I think we're still just on a little bit calmer side than we were for Cedar Lake. But I think after that big incident with Bass and Miller, we're pretty much close in position. But hey, I hope it's exciting for the fans, because I think for you and me, it's extremely exciting. We are back going green. Less than 15 laps remain. Can Hennigan cap it off and go back-to-back, or could he be upset by some of these drivers behind, like Freeberger, McIntyre, and Setting?
Yeah, he's getting all the way up there in 3 and 4 again. That's the line that Hennigan's comfortable running. Freeberger not going as far up there. He typically was down toward the bottom of the racetrack. Not an option right now as Mason Setting looking to the inside here. They are side by side for second. What a night it's been so far as the yellow is back out. And it might.
I just saw Miller grid
it's
into the pit lane.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look here. See what happened to Ryan
Which
Miller.
makes me immediately want to go look for Daryl Bass.
Oh, look at the 0-0 there on the quick shot. All right. Here's the replay of what happened to Ryan Miller.
Oh, Miller just.
Next time around here, I believe, into 3 and 4.
Oh, there's a big moment before. Yep. Makes contact with 23 of Jackson Sutton and sends him hard into the outside wall. Goodness. Let's take another look at that.
Yeah, let's see if we can pull
Yeah,
that
just
up
the
here.
worst place for contact. It looks like, yeah, it was a battle between James Murphy as well as the 23 of Jackson Sutton. Sutton gets pushed up high, and on entry here, right there, they're going to connect at right front and left front, and it's going to send Miller hard and flipping into turn 1.
Brutal bit of contact there for the driver of the 0-0.
It's going to be day done after starting on pole, having the incident with Bass. Was going to try to work back, probably get some valuable points, because every spot is going to be worth it as we come down to the end of the line when it comes to championship night here at Lucas Oil Speedway. But it's going to be night over for the 0-0 of Ryan Miller.
And he is one of now 5 drivers, I believe, who are fully out of this race. Miller, McDonald, Joshua Colburn, Stefanski, and Dusty Lee with an early exit due to connectivity issues. So we're starting to thin out the field a little bit here. That was a tough situation for last week's podium runner, Ryan Miller. Last week's winner, though, Dustin Hennigan, in good shape.
The minute I saw Miller grid into the pit or go back into the pit lane, I wanted to immediately look for Daryl Bass because I was wondering if there was a little bit of retaliation, but no, it was just a simple incident for Miller. Green flag back out, 12 laps to go.
Rehberger's going to try to work his way to the outside here. I think he's trying to prevent the 16 from getting up to that line in 3 and 4. He's not going to get there in time, though. Here we go, 3 wide for the lead, setting to the inside, and the yellow back out once again.
Connor Murphy. Yeah, gets a little bit of a tag from Blackburn, and then another tag from Gill as well. Jackson Sutton, I think, involved in this one too. Connor Murphy just kind of got run over here. Makes contact there with the 48.
Oh, yeah.
And then it looks like Jackson Sutton did not know they were 3 wide.
Yeah, contact there initially. I think that was Sutton. And the other car involved there was Logan Gill. And just, yeah, trampled. Looks like he got caught in the middle of a stampede, basically, because that car was already sideways off the corner. That's
Dirt flying,
yeah,
wheels rubbing, fenders bending. They're off to the races, as they say.
Really, except for unfortunately Connor Murphy at the moment. That car has seen better days.
It has. He's been able to keep it on track. So at least there might be some cosmetic damage, but not as much mechanical damage. Not at least enough for him to take a visit into the pits. But it will put him way back. I mean, back in about 15th.
And this
man, I really got to wonder with quick cautions like this is going to pretty much almost absolutely guarantee Hennigan a podium finish.
I mean, if they keep this up the way they're going, absolutely. The real question mark's going to be if anyone has a chance to really get to him. We've seen Freiberger and Setting. They got kind of close that last restart. Just didn't have enough time to really see that one through. Other things I'm keeping
I'm really
an eye on
impressed
here.
with. The 24 of Ricky Thompson, up 13 positions from the start. Obviously, you saw him get involved a little bit in the incident with Ryan Miller and Darrell Bass, but not enough contact or damage to go into the pit lane. So he's been able to grid up 5th. Once we've gotten into these cautions, he's done a great job. Braden Avila, another driver that's done a good job. I mean, as well as Dakota Proud. The 3 of them are right there, who we saw have trouble in their heat races and do a lot better in their LCQs, all right here up towards the front, have been able to survive any of the incidents, but also have good speed through this racetrack as it has continued to rubber up.
Yeah, and they've continued to be able to make the adjustments with the racetrack here. They're working their way through the field, but right now it's going to be the question if anyone has the ability really to prevent the 16 from doing what he wants to do on the racetrack. No one's been able to do it yet. Green is back out, and Hennigan with a good launch here in the 1 and 2.
Freeberger sends it down low on the inside, and Mason Setting gets a great run out of turn 2, looking to the bottom of the 35, trying to open the door, as well as Joseph McIntyre Jr. trying to hold off Braden Avila on the high side.
Yeah, things are getting scrappy here for 4th. McIntyre trying to hold on to it. Avila shoots the gap over the 12. What a move from Braden Avila. He gets by Thompson. He's trying to clear McIntyre. Fantastic stuff, and here goes Setting for 2nd.
Avila really strong. Ricky Thompson under attack. McIntyre also under attack. And it's a 12 of William Stites looking to rim his way around the high side. Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, they're starting to turn on the jets here in the closing couple laps. 3 wide here. Thompson, Murphy, and Proud working to the inside. Oh,
Freeberger gets the tire and gets loose and sent right up in front of the pack. And it looked like Avila able to barely stay clear. But you can see Freeberger pulls it immediately into the pit lane. Oh, man. That's a costly error.
And yeah,
just gets too low.
Caught that tire, self-inflicted for the 35.
Oh,
You've seen he's been doing such a good job running the inside of the racetrack, and just that time around came back to bite him. That's the issue with when you try to get down that low sometimes. Sometimes there's just nowhere to go. You know, to this point, we see the 35 have issues.
Oh, yeah.
Nowhere for Stites to go.
Look at Stites here.
Heavy front damage, and that both
sides.
Yeah,
right, left, and right. Oh, man. Stites had done a great job working up through the field as well. You know, a lot of these drivers, again, like we've said all night, been able to survive and put themselves in the right position. And Stites, you know, had nowhere to go, no idea that was going to happen to the 23 of Freeberger. Or excuse me, 35 of Jaden Freeberger. So, and man, really upsetting for Freeberger. Had been running top 3 all evening long, all race long, and right here towards the end makes one small error.
Yeah, and you know, that's sometimes all it takes. But unfortunately, it's going to end the night probably for both of them. So this field continues to trim out, now only down to about 13 cars. Hennigan's still up front, setting in Avila. Now the cars ready to give chase to the race leader. Green flag back in the air on the lap 34 of 40.
Avila into a spot on the podium, but could he possibly go and race for the win? I'd say he's got some 2 tough customers in front with Hennigan and Setting.
Yeah, Hennigan has just looked absolutely unbeatable up there on the high side in 3 and 4. Setting, though, applying chase. He gets a good run there through 1 and 2, just not able to really carry that speed down the backstretch. It opens the door for the 25 to maybe get into the mix as well. Trying to diamond off that corner as we're now at 5 to go.
5 laps remaining. Avila has looked very strong this evening, been able to pass cars and stay out of the mess. No one has looked stronger than Dustin Hennigan. Here we look at Daryl Bass trying to work back through the field after contact with Ryan Miller. He's under pressure, though, from the 1 of Logan Gill. That was a battle for 8th and 9th as we jump back up towards the front. It's Braden Avila able to make it past the 3 of Mason Setting, but with 3 to go across the line, will he have enough time to maybe battle with Dustin Hennigan in the number 16?
Well, the gap is certainly coming down a little bit. Just a matter of if he can keep running a couple of crisp laps.
Look at that.
16 looks to be in really good shape, though. Half a second the difference with 2 laps to go in the 1 and 2. Avila chops off another 10th and a half through 1 and 2. Tell you what, this thing isn't over yet.
It is not over yet. We saw what Avila is willing to do to try to take the win. He did it in the heat race. White flag is out. One more for Hennigan, or will it be Avila? Avila looking down low, trying to carry momentum here off of 2. He's in position to maybe look to the inside to throw the slider. He's going to try to carry momentum down low. It's not going to be enough. Dustin Hennigan goes back-to-back and wins at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Fantastic drive from Dustin Hennigan to start the season off, 2 wins in a row. But boy, did Braden Avila give him his money's worth there at the end. The 25 was on a mission to get up there, nearly did. So the 16 of Hennigan alongside the 25 of Avila and the 3 of Mason Setting. Big rebound week for the 3, or a big rebound after a tough heat. He's going to put himself on the podium as well. And now they're going to be joined here for the post-race inspection. Again, this is the rulebook enforced open setup. So they have the opportunity to kind of set this car up how they wish. As long as it's in the rulebook, they're getting that reviewed now, which means we're going to step aside for a brief commercial break. When we come back, interviews with your podium finishers and the final results in just a moment.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
What a race from Lucas Oil Speedway. It was Dustin Hennigan going back to back after the win at Cedar Lake, and he writes his own check here for another $25 for the win at Lucas Oil Speedway. Let's get into the results. Obviously, Hennigan, your winner. Then it was Braden Avila finishing in second after starting in 16th. Then it was Mason Setting, who also had a great run from the mid-pack after starting 12th. Joseph McIntyre Jr. finished in fourth in the 44. It was James Murphy finishing in the top 5. Dakota Proud in the 14, having a great run from 17th spot to finish in 6th. Then it was the 6th of Mason Newmiller finishing 7th. The 1 of Logan Gill finishing in 8th. 9th position goes to the 90 of Daryl Bass after recovering from contact with Ryan Miller. And rounding out the top 10 was the 40 of Dylan Blackburn, who started on the front second row and had trouble, but was able to rebound to a top 10.
Meanwhile, the back half of the field, the last two cars who finished this race on the lead lap, Ricky Thompson will bring it home 11th, and Connor Murphy will bring it home in 12th after starting in 18th and 19th, respectively. Now, everyone else here, early exits from here on out. Jaden Freeberger, 6 laps down. William Stites down 7. Jackson Sutton will finish 15th, down 11. Pole sitter Ryan Miller going to go 16th here tonight after his late incident that saw him flip into the turn 3 wall. Cody McDonald going to finish 17th, just ahead of Cameron Stefanski. Joshua Colburn and Dusty Lee Jr., who had the early exit here tonight due to connectivity issues. But as it stands, that is your unofficial top 20. Joining us now, it's going to be race winner, driver of the 16, Dustin Hennigan.
Yeah, Dustin Hennigan, all of the front 3 passing tech, but Dustin Hennigan does it once again and does it at Lucas Oil. Back to back for you, Dustin.
Yeah, guess so. We got lucky.
What do you mean you got lucky? I mean, that was almost domination.
I really didn't feel good, and I was just trying to keep out front. Felt like the car was good, and I just didn't feel, I don't know. I don't feel right here at Lucas Oil.
Well, I mean, your line was absolutely immaculate. I mean, you were running it right on the edge. Any sort of overstep, and you were going over the berm. What was it like riding on edge lap after lap after lap, knowing you had to hit it each and every time?
Yeah, I like tracks like this here in Lernerville. Really takes away the wall ride, and you can see who can actually run the top. I really don't like this kind of cushion because it flats off pretty quick, and I don't know, it's hard to run, and I was just trying to hit the marks.
Well, right now you're a 2-time winner and the only winner here in the Midwest Modified Series. This is the only track we come back to, and it will be on championship night. Now, if you keep up at this rate, you're probably going to lock up the championship before we even get there. But as we know about dirt racing, you can start on the pole and you can finish last. I mean, it can go from great to terrible in moments, instance. What did you learn here tonight that you could maybe work on when we come back in week 8?
Yeah, I just gotta figure out more of running the bottom and try to get a little more drive. Felt like I just had to keep the car up on the high side and keep momentum.
Anyone you'd like to thank tonight here after the win?
Everybody at DDR, these setups are different from what we actually have to run. We can actually run and host it in officials, so we've just been putting in the work to get these going, and looks like it's paying out for us as of now. So keep that momentum going, and y'all for putting this on, and everybody that makes this possible.
Well, it's absolutely paying out not only in your pocket, but up on the racetrack. Back to back winner. Congratulations, Dustin.
Thank you.
Dustin Hennigan remains your only winner in the Midwest Modified Series. Let's bring in the driver who finished second. Braden Avila is with Alex.
Hey there, Braden. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
I tell you what a drive it was, man. Started from 16th in the feature race, worked your way all the way up to second. Wild drive. Had to avoid a couple of incidents through the middle of the field early on tonight, and then when it mattered most, you were able to make some passes to get onto the podium, get to the pay window, as it were. Talk to us a little bit about your night, because it certainly seemed like, at least from our vantage point, it was a wild one.
Yeah, I mean, the heat race didn't really go as planned either. We get out front early and thought we were blinking and lagging there, so I didn't want to be in the way and was letting people by. And then, yeah, we came from a B, unfortunately, and yeah, we were able to just pick a few cars off there at the beginning, and then we got real lucky with that huge pile up on the front stretch. We were able to gain probably 8 spots from that, and then yeah, just tried to claw to the front from there.
Well, that you did. It was a fantastic drive. How many more laps do you think you would have needed to get up there and take that lead away from Hennigan? You were closing in there in those last couple laps.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked at least 5, but probably 5 less caution laps might have helped me out a little bit there too. So yeah, just take it when we can get them.
Certainly. Well, it was a great drive for you here tonight, finishing on the podium after having to work your way through the field. Braden, anyone you'd like to shout out on the podium run here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Infamous Race Works, Molly Chevrolet, uh, Colburn Race Wraps for the new wrap for this week. Looking absolutely stellar out there. So yeah, I can't thank them guys enough.
Alrighty, well, Braden, thank you so much for dropping by. Congrats on the podium finish, and we will see you next week for race 3 of the Midwest Modified Series.
Hope to see you too.
All right, and that is your second place finisher here today, Braden Avila, who picks up a big second place run here tonight after starting 16th on the grid.
Great drive from Braden. Needed just a little bit more time to maybe make the pass for the win. Now we're going to sit in with Mason Stedding, who finished third, your last spot on the podium. And Mason, I imagine this has got to feel good after trouble last week.
Yeah, we started 12th or 13th. I tried to be patient and then just slowly gain spots. There's a couple pile ups and stuff, and then that big pile up happened on the front stretch. That really helped me out. That took me from like seventh to third, and I just stayed patient because I'm just trying to gain points and I'm not getting too greedy. Just trying to gain spots, but I'll take a top 3.
Do you think, with obviously Avila getting by you and Hennigan taking the win, did you think you possibly had anything for them there on that last green flag run, or were you just playing it a little conservative and settling for third?
Well, my tires were pretty kind of shot, honestly. I could have probably been more conservative a little earlier. Just going from mid pack to like the lead front of the field, you gotta use a little bit of tire. So with that track being slick and me having to come from 12th to third, that was pretty hard on my tires. So at the end, my tires probably were a little shot. So besides that, Dustin was pretty fast. Uh, Braden was pretty fast. Good race to them guys.
We go to Kokomo next week. What is your outlook going forward into Kokomo?
Um, it's probably earlier going to probably be around the bottom because that's just generally the shorter way around Kokomo. But probably at the end of the night, maybe if I remember correctly, being probably banging the boards.
I love that line. I love that. Banging the boards. That's what we could see towards the end of the night at Kokomo. Mason, anyone you'd like to thank tonight on a podium finish?
Yeah, I would like to thank Twisted Speed, McMoney Graphics for my rap, my mom and dad, and my neighbor Justin.
Well, congratulations, man. It was a good run for you.
Thank you.
Mason Setting finishing in third place after a rough start at Cedar Lake. Like he said, it was valuable points that he needed. We will complete the race here from Lucas Oil Speedway. And again, Alex, the only track that we will revisit one more time here in the Midwest Modified Series will come back on championship night, where we will most likely be ready to crown a champion. But your thoughts on this evening, Alex?
I think we had an absolute blast here from Lucas Oil Speedway. Cedar Lake was a good time last week. Dare I say Lucas Oil Speedway tonight even better. And some of the battling we saw here tonight makes me super encouraged for when we come back here in Week 8. I think it should be a ton of fun to come back here and see these guys rip around, especially if they're getting all the way up to the cushion like we saw Hennigan do tonight. But with that, I mean, at this point, Scott, we're looking ahead next week to Kokomo Speedway, next up on the slate here.
I'm inclined to agree with you. Want to thank all of the sponsors here with the Midwest Modified Series: No Coast Customs, Colburn Race Wraps, Featherston Welding and Fabrication, and Infamous Raceworks, and of course our presenting sponsor, P1 Sim Sports. I think we had an excellent night. I'm very excited to come back, but I am also excited to go to Kokomo next week. We got a little bit of insight from Mason Setting about how the race might look. But of course, that's the feature race, Alex, and it has been proven it is difficult to make the feature race.
Yeah, certainly is. That was the case here tonight, was the case last week at Cedar Lake. It's a competitive field out there, and we have seen it back-to-back nights. Folks starting in the back, working to the front, people starting up front, having issues, falling all the way to the back. No one is safe, and nothing is sacred here in the Midwest Modified Series, and that's part of what makes it so damn fun.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us to watch this excellent race from Lucas Oil Speedway. Thank you for joining us here on Vspeed. I've been joined alongside by my partner, Alex Gagnon, our broadcaster analyst, as well as producers, and our excellent cameras provided by Dougie Beard. My name is Scott Shive. Congratulations to Dustin Hennigan, back-to-back winner here in the Midwest Modified Series. We'll see you next week when we head to Kokomo.